from sin. Lead me to the cross of Jesus. From the guilt, the power, the pain. Lead me to the cross of Jesus.
Hello, and welcome to Thursday's reflection in the series My First Steps in Faith. I spoke yesterday about how I found inner peace and assurance that I had been put right with God. And I also shared how this inner change had come through spending time with other young Christians and reading the encouraging words of Jesus and the letters of Paul in the New Testament. One of the ways this sense of assurance affected me was in how I prayed. As a child, I had believed God was distant and angry at me. Now I could much of the time sense God's Spirit was with me and that I wanted to pray. When I prayed, I felt welcomed and could sense an open channel to God. The Apostle Paul describes how and why this happens for those who put their faith in Jesus. We can speak to God as a loving Father. The Spirit you received does not make you slaves so that you live in fear again. Rather, the Spirit you received brought about your adoption to sonship. And by him we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit himself testifies with our spirit that we are children of God. There is no barrier between us and God wants to receive our prayers. I found also I wanted to pray for my friends who didn't believe and for the strengthening and spiritual growth of the other Christians in our youth Bible study, and just to spend time being in God's presence. We often feel we don't know how to pray or what to pray. But Paul says that as God's Spirit lives within us, then the Spirit helps us, even when we don't know what to pray. In Romans 8, we read, "In the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. And he who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God." God hears all our prayers and wants to use our prayers as part of his plan to bring heaven on earth. The psalmist says in Psalm 17, "I call on you, my God, for you will answer me. Turn your ear to me and hear my prayer." It's easy in the midst of pressures and worries to forget what an amazing privilege we have to be able to come freely into God's presence to pray to him, or just be with him. I've not always continued in this dedicated and enthusiastic way, but when we settle to pray, I don't think we ever regret the time we spend in prayer. God is always there waiting for us to come. Sometimes we'll have to begin by admitting we've been lax in the way we've lived and thought, or not prioritized spending time in prayer, or that we haven't attended diligently enough to his call to be his disciples. But we can always expect when we do come to God through Jesus in prayer that there will be the welcome of a loving Father. So let us resolve to take time to pray regularly. Perhaps take a few minutes now to do just that. I hope you'll be able to join me for my last session tomorrow.
How can I be free from sin? Lead me to the cross of Jesus. of Jesus. There's no other way, no price that I could pay. Simply to the cross I cling. This is all I need, this is all I plead, that His blood was shed for me. How can I know peace within? Lead me to the cross of Jesus. Sing a song of joy again. Lead me to the cross of Jesus. Flowing from above, all forgiving love from the Father's heart to me. What a gift of grace, His own righteousness, clothing